Finally. I'm sorry, but YouTube was doing a thing. Hi, Karen. Glad that you made it. Hi, Elaine. So this is the monthly chat with you, and what I can say is that right now I'm still a little bit shaken. Yesterday we had some very bad weather here in Oklahoma, and it was also in Texas and Arkansas. And I was fortunate that it was southeast of me. I only got rain, but it was bad. Hi, Lanky. Hi, Carlene. Now it is a nice fall day, and I was talking to some friends how unusual this weather is for Oklahoma, because until yesterday we had like 70s during the day, and usually here in Oklahoma the Halloween is like a switch turns and we get cold weather. Well, it didn't. Yesterday it went from 72 to 44 in an hour. I am glad for you, because I know how bad it is where you are, Lanky. And then today is gonna be a max of 62, and then we go back to 70s. I mean, we need to get used to it. The only thing that I'm not looking forward to is the winter cold and the ice storms. But, you know. And I do have sometimes people who ask me, why don't you move? Well, yeah. When you're disabled and 60, it's not very easy to move. But anyway, we are starting the month of Thanksgiving, and even if personally myself, I'm gonna be very honest, I'm not much into celebrating Thanksgiving. You know, I normally try to keep my channel free of politics and any other thing, but this is not really politics. And I felt that since, you know, like 23 years ago. I never felt right celebrating Thanksgiving, because to me it's a very hypocritical celebration. I mean, there was all the genocide of the Native Americans. The whole thing has been very commercially whitewashed. And, you know, it's like all the other days, like Thanksgiving Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. If you need to establish a day to have those feelings, and you don't really care about them for the rest of the year, then it has absolutely no importance. Finnegan is doing great. He's never had an issue after he had the surgery. It was hard, and I presume it was hard for your cat too. It was hard for him. It was hard for me. I cannot even imagine that my hardness was as bad as his hardness. But I had, and people who were following me during that time, was 2020, know that I think I had like 4 or 5 days in which I maybe slept 2 hours a day, because I had to pay attention to him all the time. Because even if he had a cone, I didn't realize, and I ordered a soft one after I got him home from the surgery, so it took a few days. But the way the plastic cone, when he was trying to lick his hindquarters, the edge was dropping right on that surgery side, so I kind of had to keep my eyes on him all the time. That was that, and then the paper confetti because they gave me 2 big bags of paper confetti. I had to empty all the litter boxes and fill them with paper confetti so there wouldn't be any kind of dust from the litter going into the surgery site. Let me go get him. Finnegan. He was all the way in the back. I have in the laundry room, I have a window that's kind of like a bow window. And the cats love to sit there. But yeah, he's my little bright star. He's so white. Yes, yes. And he's doing great. He's the sweetest baby in the world. So he was outside, out on the window, getting some sun and watching over the backyard. There's a lot of kitties out there. And sometimes they come in the backyard. Get your face to the camera. Normally he loves the camera, but I don't think he figured out that there is one right in front of him. The thing is that I have to keep his butt shaved all the time. And I found a very good shaving thing. He just found a toy. Oh, that's cute. Karen, you and Elaine should video chat. Yes, I know you're bored. Should video chat and let your birds talk to each other. Because Elaine has a bird too. And he's adorable. And he dances too, but only when Elaine sings. Anyway, so what's going to happen on Thanksgiving? I don't know. I used to practically until the pandemic. I always, even if I personally don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, I used to do a Thanksgiving dinner and invite all my neighbors who were living alone and far from family. But actually, no, it was like, oh gosh, when did Mikey die? It was after my neighbor Mikey died. I stopped doing that. No, not before. No, not after, before, because the last Thanksgiving he wasn't really too keen to move around. But, you know, especially after the pandemic and everything, I stopped doing that. The same way as I stopped doing my cancerversary in October. And I found this year that it was very interesting, the fact that I finally reached, and it's 13 years, I'm celebrating 13 years of survival from breast cancer. Hi, Anna. I've been trying to get hold of you. We need to talk. But before this year, every time it was getting close to October 19th, I would be like, oh yeah, I need to celebrate. During the pandemic, I didn't have my ladies over, obviously, but I still celebrated online with you. And this year, kind of like before Halloween, it hit me. I didn't even think about that. So I think it's a good thing, because yeah, I still think about it, because, you know, once you had invasive cancer, even if you're declared non-NED, non-evidence of disease, there is no such thing as remission, because it can come back anytime. So you always kind of wait for the other shoe to drop. But it was a good thing. I saw it as a good thing because that meant that it's not stressing me out so much, if that makes sense. Because, yeah, it was something to celebrate, but you know how they say, and it is true, that cancer patients do have a form of PTSD. So I thought, well, I guess I'm pretty much getting better about that. So that was a good thing. Like all of you, I am. There are a lot of things that I'm thankful for, as well as a lot of things that I'm not thankful for. I mean, like everybody else, and it's something that's not just in the US, it's in all societies, in all the countries, all over the place. Yeah, well, it's kind of, that's what I was going to talk about. It's kind of hard to not have a lot of stress. Um, I mean, there are so many stressful factors right now in our lives. And don't get me wrong, I don't compare our stress factors to the stress factors of people who live in countries that are ravaged by war or civil unrest and stuff like that. But it is still stressful. And the thing is that the cases, the cancer cases have raised, and it's just normal. And yeah, see, the thing with keep up with doctor appointments, I didn't really have a lot of doctor's appointments, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I cannot drive anymore, just because my car's driver's door, the handle broke. So if I want to get in, I have to go in through the passenger door, and I'm sorry, but I'm not able to do that. I mean, it takes me probably like 10 minutes, and by the time I get in the driver's seat, I'm tired. So yeah, I could use, because we have a carpool system here that's insured by the Department of Health for low-income people. But don't get me wrong, carpooling in a pandemic, that's not something that I am keen to do. So I am forced to go with either finding somebody to drive me there, which is very hard, or take Uber or Lyft. And that is one thing. So with my income, it's hard, okay? Because the Uber, I'm not even talking about, because it doubled. But even Lyft, it's like, I don't know, food for the whole month for my cats, going there and back. And also, I've been avoiding doctor's offices, clinics, and stuff like that. Yes, I did have some telehealth appointments, but at one point, and I do have to see my primary care this coming Monday, because I waited until the latest booster that's got some variant, COVID variant coverage, to schedule to be available so I could get it, so I could could schedule my next doctor's appointment, because that's the only time that I can get blood work. And oh well. But I'm sure that I'm not the only one who has all kinds of issues like that. I'm just in the group, somewhere in the group. And it's like, I know that everything that all my health issues are all degenerative, so they are just getting worse. They'll never get better. My only way to deal with it is to try to slow them down. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. The fact that back in September 2020 I went off opiate pain medicine, honestly didn't help much, because there's a lot of stuff that I was able to do when I was taking pain medicine, and now I'm not able to do as good. Then it's the stress of everything being so much more expensive now. So that's one of the reasons I'm not looking forward to, one of the reasons why I'm not looking forward to winter. But because of all the costs and everything. But at least, hey, we are getting our Social Security supplemented. So, excuse me, I'm sure $50 will do great, right? Anyway, it's $50 plus, not $50 minus, so all is good. When it comes to the polymer clay, I've been doing stuff here and there. I've been working a lot in the last week with house cleaning and everything, and it's taking me even longer than before. I'm still not done. I had a few weeks when I was sick that I couldn't do much in terms of house cleaning, and if you have long-haired cats, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just the fact that I wasn't able to vacuum every 3 or 4 days made dust. I live near a highway. Dust and cat hair go everywhere, so I have to go in all the nooks and crannies to clean them. But, such is life. At least I'm alive and I'm able to do it. That's the best thing. Because I was watching some interviews lately, and not necessarily of celebrities, and not just interviews but also vlogs. Yeah, I'm gonna get my pneumonia Monday, but I don't get the shingles anymore, because I had the original shingles vaccine, and then I tried the new one, the one that you have to get 2 shots, and oh my god, it made me so sick that I was like, no, please, I don't want to go through this a second time. But well, as I was saying, I've been watching some vlogs and some interviews and some stuff, and what hit me, and I thought, this is so true. If I wake up in the morning and I know that I have to do this and this and this and this, and I wake up with the thought, I'm feeling kind of tired, or I'm feeling kind of blah, I'm feeling kind of, do I feel like doing this? You can be sure that it's not gonna get done that day. But if I wake up in the morning with the thought, oh, I need to do that, and I don't give it a second thought, you know. I end up doing it. So I think it's a matter of not letting yourself be controlled by the stuff that you're going through. Um, I know it's very hard sometimes, and especially when this first thought in the morning is related to pain. That's not valid. Scratch everything that I said before, because if you can get over feelings of blah and feelings of tiredness, uh, get over pain. That's not working. And it's no matter what you do. The other thing that, and I wanted to talk to you about it because it took me years, after I became disabled, after I went through the cancer treatment and everything, and I became disabled. Um, I don't know, I think that in the back of my mind, there was still that thought that I'd get back to normal. And it took me years to come to terms with the fact that that's never going to happen without getting depressed about it, okay? So I got over that fact and just adapted to the new reality. And I'm not going to call it a new normal. I hate when I hear people saying, oh, you have to get used to the new normal. If it's new, it's not normal. If it's changed, it's not normal. It's a change. It's a new thing, but it's not normal. Normal is what you are used to. Okay? It's illogical to say a new normal. So, yeah, new reality. Yeah, that works. And I adapted, and then I thought as time went by, because what you have to think is that when I became disabled, I was 48. Okay? And it was still easier to do things than it is now. And after I went through all that period of getting used to the new reality and adapting to the new reality, and I discovered that that is exactly the same thing when it comes to aging. You know, because that's the same. I mean, you live for decades in a certain way, and then you age, and it's like you don't want to deal with it. It's not normal. It's not you. You look in the mirror, and it's not me. I don't feel like that. What's happening? My back never hurt before. What isn't? You either get depressed and get into that snowballing of the worse you feel, the more you do nothing, the more you do nothing, the worse you feel. So it was in a way a good thing that I already went through. This is what life is now. Forget about what was before, just adapt to now. And I am looking at the whole aging thing the same way. So it was a good exercise adapting to disability for adapting to aging. Because even if you think that when I started my channel back in 2017, right? So I was 56. 56 is disabled is different than 61 disabled. 56 is different than 61, no matter what. And I was talking before, like what Karen says, I've been telling you for a while that try to do one thing a day. And I lived by that mantra for several years. And then I discovered that it's not enough. because it depends what that one thing a day is. When there's nobody else in the house to do stuff, you have to start separating the one things a day that kind of need to be done every day and the one thing a day that can be done once a week or once every 2 weeks, stuff like that. So yeah, when you think about it, it can be a little bit overwhelming, but I go back to the snowball. The worse you feel, the more you don't do anything, the more you don't do anything, the worse you feel. So by not doing anything, you'll feel worse and worse and worse and worse. And this is a new phenomenon that honestly, until this past half a year, I didn't have to deal with. So I'm kind of observing my own body. If before I could take a day off or two and go back to my stuff, now if I take a day off, I'll get back to it. But if I take 2 days off, oh my God, it's gonna take me so darn long to to get back to my actual routine. And actually now it is a normal, because I've lived with it for a while. I was talking about the new normal right after you get all the surgeries and all the everything. But anyway, so yeah, I've been doing some polymer clay. Not a lot, and I'm trying to cut because I realized that my biggest time consumer is the TV. And I'm not talking about news, no. I'm talking about binge watching stuff. And I'm trying to cut back on that. Hi, Sherry. Thank you so much. Hi, Mona. But yeah, I mean, it's like a permanent, it's almost like a game, it's like a permanent, not necessarily struggle, but as I said, more like a game, identifying what gear isn't moving right and what can you do about it. But it's like, it's all about adaptation and finding the solution. Because the thing, hi Del, the thing is, one thing that I hate in my whole life, I mean, at least from the moment I figured out what's going on, I don't like people who always complain about problems but don't do anything to fix them, don't have a solution for those problems. So that's the actually very important. You have to identify the problem. First of all, you have to accept that there's a problem, identify the problem, and try to solve it. It might not necessarily be a problem of behavior, like my thing with the TV. I wanted to see if I thought about, am I getting addicted to that? And then I realized that no, I'm not addicted to that. Yeah, I bet it was too much. It was just the fact that because of my health deteriorating, I wasn't able to do any more things that I enjoyed. Like before, for me, gardening was a pleasure, a passion, something that was making me happy. Now when I think gardening, the next thought that comes into my mind is pain. I'm going to hurt. So I've been trying to find other ways of doing stuff. Even if I do, because when you live alone, you kind of need communication. You kind of need an informational stream for your brain to work. And one of the things that I've been doing is, and I talked about this before, felting was one thing. And the other thing is I started again doing digital art, using things like GIMP and stuff to draw stuff. So I'm trying to find other things that I can do that don't involve a lot of effort, physical effort, that is. And I am planning on stepping up on my little dumbbells, because I think that I'm losing again strength in my hands and arms, so that is something that needs to be addressed. But I would love to hear from you, and please post in the comments after the whole live is over and you can start commenting. Please let me know what are your biggest issues, because I would like to talk about them. I'll make a little list from the comments, and maybe we can talk about them on the December monthly chat. And because I'm very, very curious, how are you dealing with the whole thing? Because I know that, and I said before, my audience is mainly and is directed towards people over 45 and disabled people. I mean, not absolutely just for them, but it's mostly directed at that, because playing, honestly, unless you are exceptionally good and you have daddy's money to advertise yourself when you're young and get a big following and a big success, you don't really do passion playing until you get, either you retire and you have time, or you become disabled and you have time. You don't have to go to work, you don't have to. So, and the issue is that once you're retired or once you become disabled, you start having issues due to the health, due to the aging. And that's why in all my videos I always try to find solutions for people who might have hands issues, might have eyesight issues. I mean, for goodness sakes, remember that I made videos and lives for like 6 months with cataracts in both eyes. Anyway, but I mean, you do what you gotta do. It's not again, when you wake up, don't think, oh, I'm too tired. Don't think, oh, I don't think I feel like doing that. Just think, oh, I gotta do that. Okay, I gotta do that. That's life. That's how it is. And you always have the memories of what you did when you were young. But I mean, that's what it is. So we will be doing some fall stuff, but I'll start, except for tomorrow. I think that it would be more adequate to start working on Christmas tree ornaments and winter stuff, so we have enough done by the time that comes around. So I hope you like tomorrow. I want to show you a different way of treating retro cane, so I hope you'll be there and you will like it. But anyway, I'm glad that I talked to you, and please let me know in the comments, what are your issues that you try to overcome, and how do you do that? And I'm very curious. We'll be talking about that. Maybe I'll make an extra session of chatting with you. Okay? Thank you so much, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye. Have a wonderful weekend.